Time had passed. Blitz has escaped the giant Timothy for now. However, he was not prepared or aware of the realm he is in. As far as Blitz is concerned, he still thinks he's in one of the rings of hell. He is too simple of a man to understand such a horrid thing. Not stupid, mind you, but he cares not for learning the secrets of the universe and trying to unravel its mysteries. A man who prefers the simple and plain of what he knows to be true. This, however, this simplistic way of thinking will be his downfall. Salexi's realm is not a place where sense and logic exist. Sense, logic, reason, and the laws of the universe has abandoned this place long ago. A place where time and the laws of reality are but a suggestion rather than a fact. The walls and halls constantly bending and shifting, ever changing, always shifting, never certain. Only the truly mad or those accompanied by such a person of madness can navigate it. It is a labyrinth, endless, eternal, and oh so dead, oh so quiet, oh so lifeless. Salexi and Stolas spend some time together in loving affection. Oh, Stolas, the poor boy, completely and blissfully unaware of what has happened to them, how their mind has been changed against their will. They shared many nights together as Timothy continues to hunt the imp miles away from where they are in this dark city of a castle. Stolas for a time feels genuinely loved, everything he ever wanted, someone who wanted him for more than just physical pleasure. Yet, all of this feels so wrong. It feels as if he has surrendered to an evil that one such as he cannot possibly know. Stolas feels that he has given himself to some monster, a creature beyond comprehension, all just so he could feel some level of genuine love that was denied to him for so long. Stolas knows he cannot judge someone based on what they are physically, that the character is more important than the physical. Yet, Stolas is slowly beginning to see the lack of sanity that Salexi has left. Yet Stolas continues to play along. After all, it's better than being alone. The day had come. Stolas had become curious enough to speak with this so-called Melinda the Machinator. He was at least curious to know what would it mean to be a creature of the void like Salexi, this soul-sucking vampiric monster of sorts, masquerading as a Goetian. He still was not entirely sure if he should do it or not, but who does he even have to talk to about this outside of Salexi? Salexi is obviously biased, and while he feels like an honored guest here, Stolas also feels like a prisoner, or is at least beginning to feel like such, unable to leave, even if he does have the ability to teleport. How would one chart a course to hell when they don't even know where they are in the universe in relation to Hell's rings? It would be foolhardy. So, he takes his chances with Salexi's minions. Stolas and Salexi walk the halls together as they make their way to Melinda's laboratory and speak to one another.
Darling, I have always wondered something.
Yes, my love.
Why did you make your castle so fast? It's like a city even. It could even rival Pride City, yet there are so few people here.
That's the thing. I did not create this city. This place was left abandoned and lifeless long before my false apotheosis. Not a soul in sight. And I, and my minions decided to take it as our own home. This city is the scarred and hollowed remains of a civilization that came before the birth of even our known universe. It is what is left over from what came before, when it didn't fit God's perfect, neat little plan for their so-called perfect world. The trash discarded, left behind by an uncaring father when he deemed it useless. Countless billions used to live here, and yet people worship him as a merciful and caring god. Quite silly, don't you think?
Yes, quite indeed.
Salexi giggled and chortled even when speaking of something so grim and controversial. Stolas paid it no mind, but definitely felt the animosity coming from Salexi that they had for God. They feel a bit awkward as they walk. Stolas rubs their shoulder as he continues to hold Salexi's hand, looking away for a moment. And then he looked back, with a smile, trying to change the subject.
Thank you, Salexi, for everything. I've been having a wonderful time. This all feels like a new ray of sunlight in my life, which is ironic given where we are right now.
Oh, but of course, my love. Anything for you. I am pleased that you decided to at least hear Melinda out. I know it shall be quite an enlightening experience.
Of course, love. Perhaps she can even know a way to heal the wound within you.
Salexi gives Stolas a small smile as he kisses them on the cheek, but they dismiss this notion. Stolas has no idea how many times Melinda has already tried that. No, Salexi was never something that could be healed. One cannot heal a wound in the fabric of life itself. Salexi would retort, but he does not want to ruin the mood. They would rather let Stolas have the false hope that Salexi can be healed. Soon, they approach the doors to Melinda's lab. The doors are two large slabs of thick old wood, casted and covered in metal iron frames, fit for a fortress. Stolas noticed that there were several electrical wires, caked in glowing green energy, snaking along the floors and walls as they go into small holes around the dorm frame, entering what could be behind. Ah, here we are. Now then, a warning I must mention to you.
A warning? Is everything all right?
Oh, no, it is more than fine. But Melinda, you see, well, she's a bit rough around the edges, so patience is required.
Oh, don't worry. I have dealt with enough hooligans to know how to deal with it.
Well, it's not so much hooligans as to, never mind. It's better you see for yourself and be your own judge. The door opens slowly as it creaks and moans. Gusts of wind pass through as they walk down the old stone stairs into a spiral, descending further and further into this dark castle. The scene changes as it zooms down to where Melinda was, deeper into this dark stone basement. Everywhere, there was strange infernal technology caking the walls. It became more apparent the further you went down. A mixture of high-tech, intricate machines to very old steampunk-style tech that has no right functioning at all, but yet all of them work together in such horrid harmony. The sound of electricity humming, buzzing sporadically can be heard everywhere as the churning of machines coax together.
Yes, that's it. Just a bit more power, and... Say son of a succubus whore's mother!
Oh, Melinda!
What?
Well, no, shit. I didn't know it was bitch o'clock.
Yes, insults and banter. As you are wont, what the fuck do you want?
Well, I believe we had an appointment for His Highness's apotheosis checkup, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Well, where is the Goetia?
Melinda turns to face Stolas and Salexi. Her eyes were dull and gave off an annoyed bitch look, as she always does, always stone-faced. But then, in that moment, her eyes went wide with curiosity and shock.
Damn, you really went for the crown prince. Is this some kind of power play or some shit? Because I'm not getting involved in hell's politics.
No, don't be silly. I care not for what happens in hell. Their problems are their own and are relevant to us. And you will address them as your highness.
Okay, fine. Your Highness, if you would please lay on the table and...
Pardon me. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude, of course. But can I ask questions before we get any analysis?
Ah, yes. But of course, dear. Sorry, we can get a bit ahead of ourselves. Please do ask away. Stolas walks closer to Melinda, holding his own hands placed over his slender belly. Melinda raised an eyebrow with that scowl of theirs as they rest their head upon their hand, propped up against a stone slab table, as their gauntlets hit the table with a metallic clang.
So, am I to understand that if I were to go under this procedure, this, would drastically change everything about me?
You bet! No more organs, no more bones. Just a body with a big hole in it. I mean, metaphorically, of course. Not literally.
I see. Well, do I even need to eat or sleep anymore if I'm like that?
You can, but it's no longer required to live. You will still feel the effects of sleeping and the taste of food, but it's like pouring sand into a beach. It's not needed. But you will have to consume the life force of others to live. Or how you call them, souls. Before you ask, no, you don't gain power from it. It's just like putting gasoline into a car. It's just fuel, nothing more.
Dear oh me. Well, what about the body? Is it always cold?
Yes, my body is cold all the time. For the first week you'll feel the shivers, but then after that passes and you get used to it, you don't really feel it anymore.
My, how dreadful. And Salexi once told me that they die over and over, yet they continue to rise. Why is that?
Sal, if they can even be called a person anymore,
Offense noted and received.
is a walking, talking, breathing loophole of life. Sal can die just as easily as anyone can, but their flesh reconstructs itself every time within minutes. If their body is reduced to atoms, it manifests itself once again eventually, no matter how hard you try to erase their existence. They rise and rise again.
Is it painful?
Oh, absolutely. But after a while you get used to it. Eventually dying for you will be like pulling scabs off your skin. A minor nuisance.
Yes, well, I do have one question. Melinda, dear. Have you ever tried to find a way to make Salexi whole once again? Give them flesh. Make it so they don't have to be this thing anymore. No offense. Perhaps, maybe, there is hope for a normal life for Salexi, yes?
The room goes quiet. Salexi's standing behind Stolas, looks at Melinda, and Melinda looks back. They both have a stern look on their face. It is an awkward stare, where they both knew how they felt just from looking at each other. The countless times Melinda tried to make Salexi normal, or some semblance of it, weighing on their heads, thousands of lives lost just to even attempt it once. They knew it was not possible. Melinda tries to answer, but also attempts to derail as to not loom upon the subject for too long.
One might as well rewrite the laws of the universe while you're at it. But anywho, as for you, let's take a good look at you if you don't mind.
Oh, but of course.
Melinda walks them over to the stone slab table. She quickly shoved a dead corpse from the slab of a previous experiment. The corpse looked as if it was dried up over 1,000 years, shriveled like a raisin, gray and pale. It hits the ground, and like a bag filled with sand, it poofs and dissolves into ashes on contact to the floor. The ashes are similar to all the ashes that cakes the floors, the halls, walls, and even the very land outside of Salexi's castle. Ominous indeed. Stolas lays upon the stone slab. It is cold and hard. They can see the dust floating in the air from surgical lights looming above them. They look up, and they notice they can't even see the ceiling. It is so high up that it practically has its own atmosphere. Completely dark, unable to see where it ends. The walls are covered in glowing green wires, pipes, pistons, and machinery that snake up the walls into foul machinations and instruments. Melinda motions over a device that hangs and looms over Stolas' head with many pistons and mechanical arms. It is almost like some form of eldritch magnifying glass. The lens is covered in glowing runes. Melinda looks to the other end of it. Stolas lays down all nervous as they see many smaller lenses motion into place. They hover over them, ever so close, moving and darting all over their supple form, like they are small little clicks and chimes as they move.
Large amounts of ancient power, body in peak condition, mind stable with some degree of depressive wear and tear, nothing good old drugs can't fix with a dash of...
Before Melinda could finish that statement, Salexi puts one claw on the lens of the device, getting awfully close to Melinda's head. Without even saying a word, they nod, giving them the signal that it is imperative Stolas does not know about the mind controlling. If he were to know that, all their plans would be ruined.
A dash of what?
Apologies. Got distracted. Your brain matter is in amazing condition. Now, onto the most important part. Your heart. Your soul, while broken, is just the right vessel. Large, wide open, ready to become a primer to the Void Realm.
What do you mean?
Melinda moves the instruments out of the way. She looks down as she puts her hands behind her back and smiles at Stolas. Stolas is not aware of this, but to see Melinda smile is very, very rare. This means that there is more information she is not willing to disclose.
It means you're just perfect, my dear. You are exactly what we have been looking for. So if you ever decide to do it, we can proceed whenever you're ready.
Will it hurt?
Oh, absolutely it will.
Salexi turns her head quick and scowls at Melinda.
Will not, provided you have the proper anesthesia. I will make preparations. Now let's talk about those organs.
Melinda!
What? He won't need them when he turns into you.
You are not taking his organs!
You're no fun.
Stolas was nervous at this very topic, but was comforted in the idea that Salexi denied them this notion. Stolas stands from the slab as the instruments move aside.
Yes. Well, this is of course a lot to think about, but at least it puts my mind at ease. Thank you, dear.
But of course, my love.
Your Highness, may I speak to Salexi in private if you don't mind?
Oh, but of course. My love, I will see you upstairs. Come with me as soon as you can. It gets awfully lonely in here without you.
The irony of that statement was immensely palpable. Of course, dearest. They embrace for a moment. Then Stolas walks up the stairs as more of Salexi's mindless butler thralls lead the way as an escort. The room goes silent. They wait for the moaning creak of the door upstairs to signal that they are alone. Tell me, Melinda, honestly, will he live?
The probability of him surviving is 156,432 to 1,342, even with him being one of the Goetia.
Well, it's better than the last one. I will take those chances if I must.
Master, can I ask something?
You called me Master. It must be serious if you're calling me that. Speak.
This feels like such a massive waste of resources. What's the point of having two of you in this universe? I kinda like the idea of you being unique.
I know. There's a beauty in that. But I don't want to be alone.
But you have us. The twins, Timothy. You're not alone.
I know, my dear Melinda, I know. I love you all so dearly. Your loyalty to me after everything is admired. And I love it and adore it every single day. But this is something I must do to fix my broken heart.
Look, I never understood all this lovey-dovey poetic shit. I have no time or use for it. Gets in the way of good science. But if that's what you want, I will do it.
Tell me again in plain terms. Will he live?
He will almost certainly die.
And what if we don't do this ritual, and he just lives here?
Then the entropy of this place will take him, just like it did all of us. Only a quarter of us survived that ordeal and became these things. And it will be even less so chances if he's standing around you all the time. Your presence will corrupt him, bit by bit, twisting and bending his soul and flesh till there is nothing left. Like falling in love with a nuclear reactor as it decays you from the inside out.
Then this ritual must happen, or he will die either way. And I will not let him go. I cannot let him go.
Yes. Oh, by the way, Blitz escaped again.
He did what?